Sarah Martinez watched the video on her lawyer's tablet and felt her world collapse. There she was, crystal clear, unmistakable, in a hotel room with a man who wasn't her husband, kissing him, undressing. The timestamp, March 15th, 2023, 11:47 p.m., the same night she'd told her husband Michael she was working late at the law firm. "That's not me," Sarah whispered. "I've never been to that hotel. I don't know that man. That's not real." But her lawyer pointed to the screen. "Sarah, that's your face, your voice, your birthmark on your left shoulder." The opposing counsel has metadata, geolocation data, even the hotel's security footage showing someone matching your description entering at 11:32 p.m. Michael Martinez, her husband of 9 years, father of her 2 children, Emma, 7, and Lucas, 5, had filed for divorce citing adultery with video evidence. He was demanding full custody, and the family court judge, presented with what appeared to be incontrovertible proof of infidelity, was prepared to grant it. What Sarah didn't know was that Michael, a senior AI engineer at a tech company specializing in deepfake technology, had spent 6 months creating the perfect fake. He'd used thousands of photos from their shared cloud storage, voice samples from home videos, motion capture from security cameras, and cutting-edge AI to generate a video so convincing that forensic experts initially couldn't detect the manipulation. His motive wasn't betrayal or anger. It was calculated theft. Sarah's family owned a $12 million estate that would pass to their children upon her parents' death. If Michael had full custody when that inheritance came, he would control it as the children's guardian. Divorce with shared custody wasn't enough. He needed sole custody. He needed Sarah deemed an unfit mother. The deepfake wasn't just evidence. It was a weapon designed to steal children and a fortune. But when Sarah's desperate mother hired David Harrington, a private investigator known for solving impossible cases, the investigation would expose not just Michael's crime, but a terrifying new frontier: AI-generated evidence being used in family courts across America, with dozens of custody battles potentially decided by fabricated videos that judges and juries believed were real. Michael Martinez sits in federal prison, convicted of fraud, perjury, and conspiracy. But Emma and Lucas spent 8 months believing their mother had abandoned them, placed in their father's custody by a judge who trusted a video that never happened. Core question: when AI can create perfect evidence of crimes that never occurred, how does any court determine truth from manufactured reality? Characters: David Harrington, lead investigator; Flunn Sam Reeves, digital forensics expert; Marcus Chen, criminal psychologist; manipulation and deception. The family court hearing lasted 17 minutes. 17 minutes to decide the fate of 2 children whose mother sat weeping in the gallery, unable to prove she hadn't committed adultery because the evidence against her appeared absolute. Judge Patricia Morrison reviewed the video 3 times, each viewing more damning than the last. Sarah Martinez, unmistakably Sarah Martinez, in a hotel room with another man, engaging in behavior that left no room for interpretation. "Mrs. Martinez," the judge said, her voice heavy with disappointment, "do you deny that this is you in the video?" "Yes, Your Honor. That's not me. I've never..." "The video shows your face clearly. The forensic analyst confirmed facial recognition markers. The voice analysis matched your vocal patterns. Hotel records show a woman matching your description checked in under a false name, paying cash. Your cell phone pinged off a tower 3 blocks from that hotel at the exact time shown in the video timestamp." Sarah's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, we're requesting a continuance to conduct our own forensic analysis." Counsel: "You've had 6 weeks. Mr. Martinez's legal team has provided comprehensive expert analysis. Unless you can present evidence that this video is fabricated, which your own expert could not do, I see no reason to delay a decision that's clearly in the best interest of these children." Judge Morrison's ruling: full physical custody to Michael Martinez, with Sarah granted supervised visitation only, pending completion of court-ordered counseling for addressing her infidelity and dishonesty. Emma and Lucas: 7 and 5 years old, cried as bailiffs prevented Sarah from approaching them. They didn't understand why Mummy was being taken away. They didn't understand why Daddy said Mummy had been bad. They just knew their family was being torn apart. And Michael Martinez, standing in that courtroom with his children clinging to his legs, managed to look devastated while hiding what he truly felt: triumph. From which city in the world are you watching this video today? If you value stories about technology being weaponized against families, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. My name is David Harrington. For 24 years, I've investigated cases where truth seemed impossible to prove. This is the story of how artificial intelligence created evidence so perfect that courts couldn't distinguish reality from fabrication, how one man weaponized his technical expertise to steal his own children, and how the fight to expose a deepfake became a race against time before an AI-generated lie destroyed a family forever. 3 days after losing custody, Sarah Martinez sat in her mother's living room, unable to sleep, unable to eat, unable to comprehend how her life had been demolished by a video of something that never happened. Her mother, Elena Rodriguez, was a woman who'd fled Cuba at age 12, built a successful commercial real estate empire in Miami, and never backed down from a fight. She'd watched her daughter collapse under the weight of a legal system that trusted technology over testimony. "We're not giving up," Elena said firmly. "If Michael fabricated this, we'll prove it. Mom, I hired the best forensic analyst in Miami. He couldn't find any evidence of manipulation. The judge said the video is authentic. The court believes I'm lying. Then we need someone better. Someone who investigates impossible things." Elena made calls. Within 48 hours, she'd hired David Harrington, a former FBI investigator turned private detective, whose specialty was cases where traditional evidence pointed to impossible conclusions. I arrived in Miami on a Thursday morning. Sarah showed me everything: the divorce filing, the custody order, the expert analysis concluding the video was genuine, Michael's statement claiming he'd hired a private investigator who'd captured the footage. But it was the video itself that made me pause. I've seen thousands of surveillance videos, hidden camera recordings, evidence of actual affairs. They all share certain characteristics: poor lighting, awkward angles, subjects unaware they're being filmed, moments of imperfection that prove authenticity. This video was too perfect. The lighting was cinematic. The angles provided clear views of Sarah's face from multiple perspectives, despite supposedly being captured by a single hidden camera. Her movements were natural, but somehow optimized for visual clarity. And most suspicious, the affair partner was positioned so his back was always to the camera, face never visible, providing no way to identify or locate him. "Who is the man in the video?" I asked Sarah. "I don't know. I've never seen him. Michael's lawyer claims he's a colleague from my law firm, but they won't identify him, citing his privacy rights as an uninvolved third party. Convenient. Has anyone tried to find him?" My lawyer requested his identity for our defense. The judge ruled it wasn't necessary, since Michael isn't accusing him of anything, just using the video to prove my adultery. I pulled up Michael Martinez's LinkedIn profile. Senior AI engineer at DeepFrame Technologies, a company specializing in synthetic media and deepfake detection. His recent posts included articles about AI-generated video, the future of computer vision, advances in facial recreation technology, and there, buried in his work history, a PhD thesis from MIT titled Photorealistic Human Recreation Using Adversarial Neural Networks. He wasn't just familiar with deepfake technology, he was an expert in creating it. "Sarah," I said carefully, "I need you to tell me about Michael's work, everything he does at his company, everything he's capable of creating with AI." Michael Martinez worked at DeepFrame Technologies in a division that most people didn't know existed. While the company publicly promoted AI tools for detecting fake videos and protecting against misinformation, they also developed cutting-edge synthetic media for film studios, advertisers, and government agencies needing realistic digital recreations. Michael's specialty was making the unreal indistinguishable from real. I requested Sarah's complete digital footprint, social media photos, home videos, security camera footage from their house, voice recordings, anything Michael would have had access to during their marriage. What I found was extensive. Sarah's Instagram had 1,200 photos spanning 9 years. Their shared Google Photos account contained 8,700 images and 340 videos. Their home security system had captured thousands of hours of footage showing Sarah from every angle, in every lighting condition, moving, speaking, expressing emotions. This was a deepfake creator's dream dataset. I brought in Sam Reeves, the FBI's top digital forensics expert. If anyone could detect AI manipulation, it was Sam. She examined the video for 72 hours straight, using tools that most forensic analysts didn't have access to. She looked for the typical deepfake tells: inconsistent lighting across frames, facial landmark drift, temporal inconsistencies, audio-visual synchronization errors, compression artifacts that didn't match organic video. "This is the most sophisticated deepfake I've ever analyzed," Sam finally reported. "Whoever created this used techniques that are cutting edge even for top labs, but there are anomalies." She showed me frame-by-frame analysis. In 3 separate moments, lasting less than 1 second each, Sarah's left eye showed a micro-glitch, a slight pixel distortion where the AI had struggled to perfectly recreate the reflection of room lighting in her iris. In the audio track, using spectral analysis, Sam found a harmonic frequency at 17.4 kHz that doesn't occur in natural human speech, but is a known artifact of certain AI voice synthesis models. And in the metadata, despite appearing to be original footage from a hidden camera, the file had been created using rendering software. The creation timestamps March 20, 2023, 7 days after the supposed affair occurred. This video was generated on March 22nd, Sam explained to Sarah and her legal team. The timestamp inside the video says March 15th, but the file itself didn't exist until a week later. It's not footage of a real event. It's a synthetic creation rendered on a computer. Sarah's lawyer immediately filed an emergency motion to reopen the custody case with newly discovered evidence. But Michael's legal team had anticipated this. They provided an explanation. The March 22nd creation date was when the private investigator had copied and formatted the original footage for legal presentation, creating a new file in the process. The original footage had been accidentally deleted during the transfer. Unfortunate, they argued, but not suspicious. The video content remained authentic regardless of the file creation date. The judge was skeptical of our claims. "Mr. Harrington, are you alleging that Mr. Martinez created an entirely fabricated video using artificial intelligence?" "Yes, Your Honor. The evidence suggests Mr. Martinez is a respected engineer who works in AI detection, not creation. You're asking this court to believe he spent months creating a fake video to frame his own wife. That's an extraordinary accusation requiring extraordinary proof. Your expert found micro-glitches lasting less than a second. The opposing expert found none. Without definitive proof that this video is fake, I cannot overturn my custody decision based on speculation about AI technology that sounds like science fiction." We left the courtroom with Sarah still restricted to supervised visitation. Emma and Lucas still in Michael's custody. The judge had essentially ruled that our evidence was too technical, too complex, too extraordinary to override what appeared to be clear video proof of infidelity. We needed something irrefutable, something that would prove Michael created the video. We needed to find his source files. Breaking into Michael Martinez's computer would be illegal. Obtaining his work files without authorization would be inadmissible in court. We needed a legal way to access his digital life. The opportunity came through an unexpected source: Michael's own arrogance. After winning custody, Michael had started a blog documenting his experience as a betrayed husband, rebuilding his life as a single father. He posted photos of Emma and Lucas, wrote emotional essays about the pain of discovering his wife's infidelity, shared advice for other fathers dealing with unfaithful spouses. The blog was getting attention. News outlets interviewed him. He appeared on a podcast about modern fatherhood. He was becoming a minor celebrity in certain circles, and in his desire for validation and attention, he made a critical mistake. He posted screenshots from his computer desktop while writing blog posts. Innocuous images showing his Word document open, meant to prove he was authentically writing from his heart. But in those screenshots, visible in the background, were folder names on his desktop. One folder, Project SM Recreation, Sarah Martinez. Sam Reeves examined the screenshots with forensic intensity. "Look at this," she said, zooming in on one image. His taskbar shows he had 4 applications open when this screenshot was taken: Word, Chrome, Spotify, and something called Deep Render Pro. Deep Render Pro was rendering software used by DeepFrame Technologies for creating synthetic media. It wasn't publicly available. Employees had to sign NDAs to use it. Why would Michael have professional deepfake creation software open on his personal computer while writing a blog post about being a devoted father? We subpoenaed DeepFrame Technologies for Michael's employment records, focusing on software access logs and any personal projects involving company technology. The company initially refused, citing trade secrets and employee privacy. But then Marcus Chen, our criminal psychologist, provided a critical insight. Michael's blog posts show classic narcissistic patterns, Marcus explained. He's not just defending himself, he's celebrating. He thinks he's brilliant, that he pulled off something incredible. Narcissists need recognition. They need people to know how clever they are. Marcus suggested we look at Michael's online presence more carefully, not just his public blog, but forums, communities, places where AI engineers discuss their work. Sam found it on a private Discord server for deepfake researchers and developers. A user named SynthMike had posted in February 2023, 1 month before the alleged affair, working on a personal project, trying to create a photorealistic recreation of someone using only family photos and home videos as training data. Goal is to make it undetectable even under forensic analysis. We'll share results if successful. Other users responded with technical advice, discussing training methods, rendering techniques, ways to avoid common deepfake tells. SynthMike replied, "Update, getting close. The challenge is micro-expressions and eye reflections. Any tips for training the model on subtle facial movements?" Another update, March 10th. Major breakthrough. Figured out the reflection issue. This is going to be perfect. March 25th. 3 days after the custody hearing. Project complete. Results exceeded expectations. Can't share details publicly, but let's just say the application was life-changing. Sam tracked the account's metadata. SynthMike had logged in from an IP address registered to Michael and Sarah's home. Email verification linked to Michael's personal email. Digital fingerprints matched Michael's other online accounts. We had found Michael discussing the creation of a deepfake during the exact time frame when the affair video supposedly captured Sarah's actual infidelity. But we still needed the source files. We needed irrefutable proof that the video shown in court was the result of Project SM Recreation. The breakthrough came from an unexpected requirement. Michael's employer, DeepFrame Technologies, required all employees to back up work-related files to company servers, even if the work was done on personal time, using company software. If Michael had used Deep Render Pro company software to create the deepfake, the project files might be on DeepFrame's backup servers. We convinced a judge to issue a narrow subpoena, any files created by Michael Martinez using Deep Render Pro during January-March 2023, limited specifically to determining whether company software had been misused for illegal purposes. DeepFrame's legal team complied reluctantly. What they provided destroyed Michael's entire fabrication. Project folder, SM Recreation Final. Contents: 8,700 training images, all photos of Sarah from their shared cloud storage, 40 training videos, all home videos of Sarah, 12 security camera training datasets, thousands of frames capturing Sarah's movements. voice synthesis model trained on 47 hours of Sarah's speech, 3D facial mesh recreation built from analyzing Sarah's face across multiple angles, body model recreation using measurements and footage to match Sarah's physique exactly, 227 test renders showing progressive improvement in realism, final output, SM Affair Hotel Final Render.mp4, created March 27, 2023. The metadata was devastating. Every file showed Michael as the creator. The render logs showed 83 hours of computing time generating the final video. Comments in the project notes revealed his thought process. Need to ensure birthmark on left shoulder matches exactly minus. Critical for authenticity. Voice sync still slightly off in emotional moments. Retrain model with argument recordings. Hotel room recreation based on Marriott Downtown Standard Suite. Lighting setup to match their typical fixtures. And the most damning note, dated March 20th, 2 days before rendering the final version. This will work. Judge won't question video evidence. Sarah won't be able to prove it's fake. Full custody secured. Once inheritance comes through, I'll have complete control. He documented his own crime, his own calculated plan to steal his children using fabricated evidence. Michael Martinez was arrested 4 days later. The criminal trial began 8 months after Michael's arrest. During those months, Emma and Lucas had been in temporary custody with Sarah's mother, while the family court sorted through the implications of the deepfake evidence. The prosecution's case was overwhelming. They had Michael's Discord posts discussing the creation of a deepfake. They had DeepFrame's backup files showing every step of the video's creation. They had metadata proving the video was rendered on March 22nd, not recorded on March 15th. They had Michael's own notes outlining his plan to use fabricated evidence to win custody and control his children's future inheritance. But the defense tried a novel approach, arguing that creating a deepfake, while unethical, wasn't illegal if it was presented in a civil case rather than a criminal one. They claimed Michael had committed no crime, just used creative demonstration in a custody dispute. The judge wasn't buying it. You're arguing that fabricating evidence and committing perjury in a court of law isn't criminal, just because it occurred in family court. Judge Raymond Sterling asked the defense attorney with clear incredulity. You're arguing that lying under oath while presenting manufactured evidence is somehow protected? The trial featured testimony from Sam Reeves about the technical aspects of deepfake creation, from Marcus Chen about the psychological profile of someone who would weaponize their own children, and from Sarah about the 8 months she'd lost with Emma and Lucas while Michael's lie was believed. But the most devastating testimony came from an unexpected source, DeepFrame Technologies CEO Dr. Jennifer Walsh. We developed DeepRender Pro for legitimate purposes, Dr. Walsh testified. Film studios creating digital actors, advertisers personalizing content, historical recreations for documentaries. Every employee signs an agreement that the technology will never be used to create non-consensual deepfakes or to fabricate evidence. Mr. Martinez violated that agreement. He violated our trust, and he violated the ethical standards of our entire field. She revealed that DeepFrame had immediately terminated Michael and reported him to law enforcement the moment they discovered his misuse of company technology. The company had also launched an internal review that found 3 other employees who'd created unauthorized deepfakes, all of whom were fired. This technology is powerful, Dr. Walsh continued. In the wrong hands, it can destroy lives. Michael Martinez proved that. He used our tools to weaponize artificial intelligence against his own family. He created evidence so convincing that a court stripped a mother of her children based on an event that never happened. That's not innovation, that's abuse. The prosecution also called expert witnesses, who revealed the scope of the emerging crisis. AI-generated evidence being used in legal proceedings across America without detection. Dr. Rebecca Chen, a computer science professor specializing in deepfake detection, testified about her research. We analyzed 500 recent divorce and custody cases involving video evidence, using advanced forensic tools not available to most courts. We found potential deepfake manipulation in 47 cases, nearly 10%. The videos were good enough to fool judges, juries, and standard forensic analysts. How many families have been destroyed by fabricated evidence we haven't detected yet? The implications were staggering. Custody battles decided by fake videos, restraining orders granted based on synthetic abuse footage, character assassinations using AI-generated evidence of behavior that never occurred. Michael's trial wasn't just about one man's crime. It was about exposing a crisis in the justice system's ability to determine truth in the age of perfect fakes. The jury deliberated for 6 hours, guilty on all counts: fraud, perjury, conspiracy, unauthorized use of computer technology, evidence tampering, and child endangerment, for the psychological harm inflicted on Emma and Lucas by separating them from their mother based on lies. At sentencing, Sarah was allowed to address the court. "Michael didn't just lie about me," she said, her voice steady despite tears. "He weaponized our children." Emma had nightmares for months, asking why Mummy didn't love her anymore. Lucas stopped talking for weeks, thinking he'd done something wrong. They believed their mother had abandoned them because a computer program generated a video of something that never happened. She turned to face Michael directly. "You could have just divorced me. You could have shared custody like millions of other parents, but you wanted control. You wanted money, so you decided to destroy me using technology you knew I couldn't fight. You turned our children into props in your scheme." Judge Sterling's sentence was severe: 12 years in federal prison for the multiple felonies, with a recommendation against early parole. Additionally, Michael lost all parental rights. Emma and Lucas would be raised by Sarah and her mother, with Michael having no contact or custody rights. "Mr. Martinez," the judge said, "you used your expertise not to build but to destroy. You weaponized cutting-edge technology against the mother of your children. You corrupted the justice system by introducing fabricated evidence you knew would be trusted. And you traumatized 2 innocent children who will spend years in therapy, understanding why their father lied to take them from their mother." The judge paused. Technology like deepfakes will continue to advance. But the law must be clear. Creating false evidence, regardless of the technology used, is criminal. Lying to courts under oath is perjury. Using children as pawns in a scheme to steal their inheritance is unconscionable. Your 12-year sentence reflects the severity of weaponizing AI against your own family. Michael showed no emotion as he was led away. Even in defeat, the narcissist maintained his facade of superiority, as if none of this truly touched him. The Martinez case became a landmark in family law and AI ethics. Within months, several things changed. Legal reform. Florida became the first state to require forensic AI analysis for all video evidence submitted in custody cases. Federal rules of evidence were updated to mandate metadata verification and deepfake screening for digital submissions. Courts began requiring original source files for any video evidence, not just processed copies. Expert witnesses specializing in AI forensics became standard in high-stakes family law cases. Technology response. DeepFrame Technologies and other AI companies implemented stricter controls on synthetic media software. New tools were developed specifically for detecting deepfakes in legal contexts. Law enforcement received training on AI-generated evidence and how to investigate digital fabrication. Tech companies began watermarking AI-generated content at the creation level to prevent misuse. Custody case reviews. The 47 cases identified by Dr. Chen's research were reopened for forensic re-examination. In 23 cases, the video evidence was confirmed as deepfakes. Custody arrangements were reversed in 18 cases where mothers had lost parental rights based on fabricated evidence. 3 fathers were criminally charged following the Martinez precedent. Lawsuits were filed against forensic analysts who'd failed to detect obvious deepfakes. Family impact. Sarah Martinez spent 2 years in therapy with Emma and Lucas, helping them understand what had happened. Child psychologists specialized in deepfake trauma. A new category of harm where children's reality was manipulated by AI-generated lies about their parents. Emma, now 10 years old, wrote in her victim impact statement for Michael's parole hearing, which was denied, "I thought my mum didn't want me anymore. Dad showed me a video and said she chose someone else instead of us. For 8 months I believed my mum left me because I wasn't good enough. Now I know none of it was real, but I still have nightmares. I still sometimes wonder if the mum I have now is real, or if anything is real. Dad broke something in my brain that therapy can't completely fix." That statement from a 10-year-old child describing existential doubt caused by deepfake manipulation circulated widely among legal and technology communities, becoming a rallying cry for stricter regulation of synthetic media. Sarah's advocacy. After the trial, Sarah became a leading advocate for deepfake awareness and legal reform. She testified before Congress about the weaponization of AI in family courts. She worked with technology companies to develop detection tools. She founded a non-profit providing legal assistance to victims of AI-generated evidence manipulation. "Michael's crime wasn't just about me," she told a Senate committee. "It exposed a vulnerability in our entire justice system. We've built courts on the assumption that video evidence represents objective truth. But when AI can generate perfect fakes, that assumption becomes dangerous. How many people are in prison because of deepfake evidence? How many families have been destroyed? We need to fundamentally rethink how we verify truth in the digital age." The inheritance that started it all. Sarah's parents, Elena and Roberto Rodriguez, did eventually pass away 6 years after the trial. Their $12 million estate went into a trust for Emma and Lucas, managed by independent trustees until the children turned 25. Michael, in prison and stripped of parental rights, had no access or control. The very inheritance he'd schemed to steal became untouchable, protected by the legal consequences of his own crime. Michael's prison years. In federal prison, Michael Martinez maintained his innocence in interviews, claiming he was a victim of anti-technology bias in the courts. He argued that his conviction set a dangerous precedent against AI innovation, but his fellow inmates, learning he'd used computers to steal his kids, made his life difficult. Child-related crimes carry stigma, even among prisoners. Michael spent much of his sentence in protective custody, isolated, with no visitors. Emma and Lucas had no interest in seeing the man who'd weaponized them, and Sarah had moved on with her life. Parole was denied 3 times, with the board noting his continued lack of remorse and failure to acknowledge the harm done to his children. The technology continues to advance. By 2024, deepfakes had become easier to create and harder to detect. The Martinez case became a textbook example taught in law schools, computer science programs, and ethics courses about the weaponization of AI. But even with awareness, new cases emerged. A husband in California used deepfakes to frame his wife for child abuse. A business partner in New York fabricated video evidence of embezzlement. A politician's opponent created fake footage of bribery. Each case referenced the Martinez precedent. Each prosecution built on the legal framework established when Michael Martinez's scheme was exposed. The technology had opened Pandora's box, but the Martinez case had at least established that using it to fabricate evidence was criminal, punishable, and detectable if investigators knew what to look for. The human cost. Emma and Lucas grew up knowing their father had tried to steal them, using computer-generated lies. They grew up in a world where they questioned every video, every image, wondering what was real. Sarah grew up knowing that for 17 minutes in a courtroom, a judge had believed a video of her doing something that never happened, and that belief had cost her 8 months with her children. The technology that enabled Michael's crime continues to advance. Every year, deepfakes become more sophisticated, harder to detect, more accessible to anyone with technical skill and malicious intent. But because Sarah fought back, because we exposed the fabrication, because the legal system adapted to this new threat, there's now at least a framework for fighting AI-generated lies. It's not enough. The technology evolves faster than laws and detection methods can keep pace. But it's something. This is Case 17, the Deepfake divorce. A story about how artificial intelligence created evidence so perfect that a court stripped a mother of her children based on a video of an affair that never happened. About how one man weaponized his technical expertise against his own family to steal an inheritance. About how 2 children lost 8 months with their mother because technology made lies indistinguishable from truth. Michael Martinez sits in federal prison, serving year 6 of his 12-year sentence. Emma and Lucas are in therapy, learning to trust reality again. Sarah advocates for legal reform, trying to prevent other families from experiencing what hers endured. And somewhere, right now, someone else with technical skills and malicious intent is training an AI model on photos of someone they want to destroy, planning to create evidence of something that never happened, gambling that courts will trust the video more than the victim's testimony. The technology exists, the methods are documented, the tools are becoming more accessible. All that's missing is the willingness to use them. Michael Martinez had that willingness. He created a perfect lie, wrapped it in pixels and rendering software, and presented it to a court that trusted what they could see on a screen. For 17 minutes, his deepfake worked exactly as intended. For 8 months, Emma and Lucas believed their mother had abandoned them. For the rest of their lives, they'll remember that technology can lie perfectly, that videos can be manufactured, that truth requires more than just seeing something on a screen. In an age where AI can create any reality, the real question isn't whether the technology is possible. It's whether we're prepared for a world where seeing is no longer believing,